Hello and welcome to another pattern recognition video featuring the intermezzo or in-between move, also known as the Zwischenzug. So in this, I'm going to try and do 20 puzzles as I had a request to do some longer videos. So let's see, how these go. Now, if you're not familiar with the Zwischenzug or the in-between move, that kind of gives it away. You're looking for an in-between move before you make the anticipated response. So here we have a knight that just dropped back with an attack on our queen. So, we could go after their queen, but then they would just capture our queen and be a queen trade there. But we have an in-between move. So pause the video if you need more time to think. If you're ready, let's go here. Now, a lot of times the in-between move, or maybe almost all the time, it'll be a check, because a check is such a forcing move that we can move our queen here, delivering a check, and that gets our queen out of the line of fire of this knight. But because it delivers a check, the king will have to move, and then we can just pick off their queen with our rook. So check, we grab the queen, and we're just ahead there. All right, so that was rated 938. I tried to bump these up a little bit from the previous Zwischenzug videos. I have this set at 500 to 1500, and in the future I'll slowly bump that level up so these get harder. On to puzzle number 2. We just had a capture. So our knight is under attack, our rook is under attack. The obvious move would be what here? To just capture this knight, it looks like. But that would give this bishop time to escape. So once again, the in-between move. Hopefully you found this. We're going to grab that bishop, delivering a check. The king will have to move, and then we can capture the knight here, and we'll just go ahead in material. So there we go. On to puzzle number 3. Rook is captured, so the obvious move would be to just recapture here. But then what? What can we do after that? Well, the in-between move, instead of capturing the rook here, would be instead to capture this rook with a check. The king would probably take our bishop, or maybe because that bishop's trapped, it might go after our knight, but then that knight, well, we would just ignore that probably. So let's take a look at this. If we capture, the bishop is trapped, so probably could go here with the king. So that's a possibility. And then we pretty much have to go there. So this looks to be the move. We go there, and the king does in fact go after the knight because that bishop is trapped. And now we grab that rook. So, after things settle, what do we even have here? 5 pawns versus 3. We could knock out another pawn by giving up our piece here. Anyway, still a little play left in this position, but let's move on to puzzle number 4. Knight is just captured. Now the obvious move would be to recapture, but we have an in-between move. So hopefully you found it. Pause if you want to look a little bit longer. But we're going to go ahead and capture here first, taking the rook with check. The king will have to move, and then we can pick off that knight. So There we go. All right, on to puzzle number 5. Okay, the king was in check, so it drops back. The rook is attacking our queen. We're attacking their queen. So the obvious move would be to move our queen, but their queen's under attack. So figure out, what you think should be played here. Pause if you need more time, as always. If you're ready, here we go. Well, it looks like we can take their rook with check. And then what are the options? Block with the queen, but then we can take that queen. And we'll grab we'll just be ahead in material, an extra rook there. So there we go. And now we can just take the queen, and we have the extra rook here. Okay, on to puzzle number 6. An attack on our queen. What should we do here? Well, do we go ahead? Do we go ahead and take that? And then if they take, we can take. Or is there something better? Maybe we take first, threatening the queen. And if the queen captures, well, then we grab the bishop. So they're probably instead going to take our queen. We can take their queen, and we'll be ahead in material there. All right, so we just come out ahead a minor piece there. On to problem number 7. Knight has stepped forward, adding the pressure to our knight. What can we do? All right. Okay. Well, perhaps we can just move with a check, get our queen out of the line of fire. Something like that. Check. If they block with the queen, pawn, or bishop, well, if they block with the queen or bishop, we could just capture. But then we're going to have the option of grabbing that knight. So check. Might as well just take. And then we grab the knight. And so after that, we have the extra knight. Okay, next up, problem number 8. We just had a queen capture a piece here, I believe. So what do we do? Well, you want to look at checks first normally. I don't even see any checks in this position. Oh, we do have a discovered attack on the queen, so maybe that is the move to play. If we go there, they could counterattack on our queen. Oh, but then we could attack. So I think that works. So if we go there and they take, we can grab their queen. They could go after this rook. All right. Well, we're ahead in material. Hopefully you found that one. On to puzzle number 9. What do we have going on here? Okay, the queen has stepped over here, maybe wanting to push this pawn, perhaps. Um, why did they not just grab that knight? Hmm. You know, also, we're attacking that as well. So, I don't know. This position seems strange. I mean, we can go ahead and take the knight with a check. If they capture, then we can grab the bishop. Let's look at the material. We have all 8 of our pawns on both sides of the board, 4 minor pieces. So all the pieces are still on the board. But it looks like we can take that knight with check and then go after this bishop. I'm thinking that's the best way to go. All right. Well, I hope you found that one. Let's move on to problem number 10. We're almost halfway done. Okay, the pawn steps forward thinking that if we capture, they can capture and attack our bishop. Oh, also, there's a lot of pressure building up on this knight right here. They have 1, 2, 3. We only have, well, we have 3 defenders at the moment. But that's why they might be wanting to go after this pawn. Okay. If we move our knight, their queen can pick off our queen. Oh, and maybe that's what we should do with the in-between move. We go there, the queen will be under attack. So, maybe they take our queen, but we can save our knight by taking the pawn with check and then grabbing their queen. So, let's do that. All right. And now our knight is saved. They'll probably capture. If we capture, they have 2 attackers on this pawn and we only have 1 defender. So anyway, we're halfway done. I'm going to try and do 10 more. So let's move on here. Problem number 11. Queen has just been captured. But first, we want to play the in-between move by grabbing this bishop with a check and then taking the queen back. All right, so hopefully you found that. On to problem number 12. Queen has just stepped forward, attacking our queen. Okay, I think this was in a previous puzzle. Do we, not today, but in a previous video. If we go here, the queen can't take our rook because we're pinning their queen to the king. So they could, if we take the pawn, they could go here, but then we have time to capture the rook with check. The only problem we have to look out for, though, is if we take the pawn, do they have any checks? Well, the queen could move over here, delivering a check. Oh no, the queen can't move. I take that back. I have to remember that pin. Okay, so that's what we want to do. Now we can grab this and then take the queen back. So our in-between move puts us ahead with the extra rook, and that should, be more than enough to win. Okay, on to puzzle number 13. We have a queen dropping back, attacking our queen. Our rook, or excuse me, our bishop is under attack by this rook. So, oh wow, instead of worrying about the bishop being attacked or the queen being attacked, we have a great move here. Nice little pattern. Hopefully you found this. Take a look. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to deliver a check. Always important to look for those checks. The king is under attack and can only move away from the defense of the queen. So once that king moves, we can pick off the queen. Oh, sorry. I overlooked it. But no matter what, we can still go this way because the queen is delivering a check already. So we go there. And now the bishop can pick that off and can't be recaptured because of that. All right, on to puzzle number 14. Okay, what do we have here? A capture? Was that a capture of the bishop? Now our rook is under attack, so the obvious move would be to recapture that bishop, but maybe we have an in-between move. Oh, yes. So pause the video if you need more time, but hopefully you found this move. We take, attacking their queen. If they move their queen, we could even take the bishop, delivering a check. So capture, capture with check, and then we can go after that, and we're up a bishop here. Although, it looks like they could go here trying to trap our bishop. If we take, they take, our bishop is still under attack. That would really open their king's position up, though, doing all that. But I think our bishop would get trapped. So they go here, we take, they take. We could just give up our bishop for that pawn. Or we go here trying to open the position a little bit more, maybe, around the king. Okay, on to puzzle number 15. The king was being threatened with a mate because of this battery here. So now, what is our option? If we look at checks first, well, we could go here if the king moves. Oh, then we have time to check that king again before we go after the rook. So, okay, so hopefully you saw that. If we go here, king is in check, has to move here. We can move that bishop with check and then try and pick off this rook. All right. Is there anything better? Is there any type of mate that we are missing? I mean, what if we check first? The king could only move here. I don't know. I think that's best. We go there, the in-between move before we worry about the rook. Then we can pick that off. All right, on to problem number 16. Knight jumps forward, attacking our knight and unprotected bishop here. What do we do? Well, looks like, pause if you'd like to think this one out longer, but I think we can just go here, taking, if the queen takes our queen, well, first we can save our knight by delivering a check, and then we can take the queen back. And now our knight is kind of safe. If it's attacked, I mean, I guess we could move back here, but that bishop might end up moving there. And then things are looking more complicated for our knight. Anyway. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, before I move on, if they go there, our knight is kind of trapped. Huh. Oh, I guess we could try and move our... Oh, then we could just move our rook up attacking their bishop. Okay, on to problem number 17. Queen is attacking our queen, but now we have a queen pinned to their king, which allows us to capture here. All right. This is very similar to the previous problem. And we come out with the rook at the end. All right, on to problem number 18. Okay, the pawn is just pushed forward. What can we do here? Okay, perhaps we can start an attack. If we push our pawn forward, if they take our queen, we can capture their rook first and then get our queen back. But if we push our pawn and they take our pawn, we can deliver a check by capturing this pawn. King would have to move, and then it would be a mate with our queen. So there we go. Okay, they go after the queen, but we're going to go ahead and capture with a check first and then regain our queen. Okay, 2 more puzzles to go. I hope you're doing really well on these. Okay, what now? We just had a capture. The obvious move would be to recapture with our queen, but maybe we have something else. Oh, and if we do that, then this would be captured. So maybe we capture here first. If their queen captures, then our queen captures their bishop. And we would come out ahead. If they try to run, then we can capture the knight next, perhaps. Hold on. Let's take another look at this. If we go there, we're going to have 4 minor pieces. They'll only have 3, so we'll just be ahead. All right, so now we have 3 minor pieces. We have the extra bishop. Okay, the final problem, the final puzzle today. Bishop is just dropped back, lining up here. 2 attackers, 2 defenders. But this is a mistake. So take a look at it. Pause if you need more time. If not, here we go. We notice that the bishop is lined up on the queen, and there's a check possibility, the in-between move. So if we go here, they could recapture with the rook attacking our queen. We could then, give up our queen. If they take, we take. So let's do it. And in the end, we come out with this extra rook. Okay, that was 20 problems for the day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave any comments. Let me know what you think. If you'd like to request anything in the future. Thank you for watching. Also, like and subscribe to support the channel if you're new. Thank you. So, once again, thank you for watching and have a super chess day.